You are listening to 600 Second Saga. Today's feature is Immortal Storm by Ethan Hedman. The streets are finally quiet as the first few raindrops splash onto the sidewalks of Miami Beach. This is a tranquil moment. Perhaps the only moment capturing a true calm before the storm. It's the short window that falls between people scrambling to finish their last-minute preparations and the arrival of disaster. The city is largely at rest. Businesses are closed and shuttered. People are hunkering down. The occasional surfers wander back to their vehicles, having ignored the hurricane advisories as long as they reasonably could. Reporters have their cameramen observe their departure, occasionally interviewing one of these daredevils as to the danger of remaining outside. One points out the irony of a news team staying behind while he departs, waving a peace sign over his head as he walks away. I laugh. Thunder cracks in the distance. Such a city at peace is a fine sight. A pity I can only see it briefly. No matter, the coming sight is better still. This embodiment of mine is just beginning to whip its edges at the coast, stretching my arms, so to speak. The ocean is too dull an audience for this sort of performance. A city has texture, an environment fit to test itself against a show of strength. Each tree that bends and snaps is a testament not only to the power of this storm, my storm, but to time itself. There one moment, gone the next. A linear existence. We are all slaves to the boundaries of time, regardless of relativity. Humans have no trouble understanding this. It's more difficult for immortals. Seeing these linear moments is an excellent reminder of our place in the universe. Unending, but important. Torrential downpour is a beautiful thing. A symphony of droplets raining down on all sorts of material, each drop echoing its own brief song, before joining with more of its own to await yet another rejoining. Evaporation. A cyclic existence, another form of immortality. In these moments, I often wonder whether all of this water may be the embodiment of another immortal, albeit one far more sedate than myself. I certainly hope so. Its music goes unappreciated by most beings. The reporters are enjoying themselves, reveling in capturing the crashing waves firsthand. Most favor raincoats and jackets with hoods, something that amuses me greatly. Their hoods will flap wildly this way and that, with each subtle change of the wind. I spin signs and bend trees in the background, and send waves into those few who are confident enough to stand on the beach. They love it. I love it. The masses at home are glued to their televisions while the power is still working. These are my people. They unwittingly indulge me, and I enjoy indulging them. These reporters, producers, and cameramen brave my storm to display it to those not bold enough to look outside and see it for themselves. Newsroom reporters are my acolytes, but these few who report in the best of my fury are my greatest champions. They dance amidst my winds, hoods flapping all the while. Soon they'll return to their networks and be praised for their adventurous work. They are the heroes of the moment, and they have never disappointed me. My hurricane, my vigor, moves through the city. This is a joyous experience. Carrying these winds over the ocean can be quite a chore, but it becomes worthwhile in an instant when striking the shore. Debris flies wildly. The streets are an empty playground. The metaphor of a bull in a china store comes to mind, though it requires the slight adjustment of the bull taking extraordinary satisfaction each time a piece is broken. This is the strongest storm I've embodied in years. There will be a wake of destruction in my path. Roofs will fly, walls will bend, floors will be flooded, and yes, lives will be lost. There is no malice in my wind, and no evil in my wake. Even without my presence, the storm would still rage. Why then do I do this? It's natural. Specifically, it's my nature. I cannot escape it, and therefore I embrace it. A human does not choose to have emotions any more than an immortal presence chooses to embody something. It is simply part of existence. I do, however, choose to revel in it. It does feel good. Is that vindictive? Perhaps. Interpretation is everything. I am a terrible danger that brings families together. I end lives, but without the prospect of death, life would be far less appreciated. I destroy one state of being while opening the door to a fresh beginning. Do you see? What I am is entirely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is how you choose to perceive me. They keep naming me, you know. Andrew, Katrina, Sandy, and a plethora of far less memorable pseudonyms. People prepare as best they can, weather my storm, survive me, and go on to live their lives. They keep surviving. I keep arriving. Perhaps disaster is a necessary part of a satisfying human existence. Or perhaps that's what I tell myself so that I can go on crashing into cities. After so much destruction, it hardly seems important to reflect on the meaning of it anymore. One thing is certain. Life goes on, and so shall I. This was Immortal Storm by Ethan Hedman. Ethan Hedman is a speculative fiction writer from Cutler Bay, Florida, who has been jotting down ideas for years and has only recently begun to share his stories with the world. Music is provided by Mads. Learn more about 600 Second Saga, our authors, how to submit your flash fiction, and how to support the podcast in the show notes. This has been Mariah Avix and 600 Second Saga.